Hello FlossTube friends, I'm Nancy Joy Trower. I'm the Stitcher with the Laughing Face, and this is FlossTube number 40. Thanks so much for stopping by to see what I've been up to for the past 3 weeks. Today is July 1st. I am totally done with school for the summer, so woohoo! Very, very excited for that. Until, of course, they call me back in because I have to move furniture, but that's okay. School is over. I am ready for the summer relaxation to ensue. So yeah. So here we are. But I'm so happy that you're here. I know I have some really wonderful subscribers who've been watching videos, all 40 of them, all the way along. And I have a bunch of new subscribers. So I'm so happy that you're here, and I hope that you all have a beverage in your drinking vessel, whatever that might be, and you've got some stitching and you're ready to sit and just chat with an old stitchy friend. So thanks so much for being here. I know there's so many floss tubers out there, and the fact that you choose to hang out with me for a little bit really means it means so much, as in I'm so appreciative of it. All right, so let's get started because this room is going to get hot. It's the late afternoon. We went disc golfing this morning, and my husband, which is why my hair is damp. It might be curlier and shorter by the time the video is over. So he was like, I gotta go run some errands. Do your floss tube when I'm running my errands. I'm like, okay. And now it's like hot in here. So the lighting's gonna change drastically through this video, but it's all good. It's all good. All right. So yeah, so past 3 weeks, basically the only thing I've been doing is getting finished with school. It was a great school year. It really went very well. I had a great group of 8th graders. They are all graduated now and going on to high school. And I'm very much looking forward to the group that's moving up that I'm going to have next year. Have some great changes coming. We have some things that are going to be moving around a bit. I won't go into more detail yet because I do have some students who I have heard they sometimes watch. And so I don't want to blow anything. But we've got some really cool changes coming next year, and I am very excited for that. And then Vince graduated this past weekend, so we made it through all 4 of them, made it through high school in one piece. We made it through all 4 of them getting through high school. So we're on to, and he's on to a community college in the area. So that is pretty cool. Max and Abby signed a lease for their apartment in New Jersey. And they're already they're starting to pack stuff up. I think they get to move some things before they can move some things into the new place before their leases are up. So they have a little bit of leeway there, which is really nice because I'm sure you've all been in the situation where you have to be out of one place on one day and you can't be in the next one until the next day. And it's like, what do you do with all your stuff? That's not fun. So, so I'm glad for them that they've got some leeway there. Other than that, we've been out disc golfing, just hanging out, coming home from school. When school isn't, I'd come home, I'd cook dinner, I'd stitch. And actually June was very productive. So I do have a lot of finishes to show you today. So I am going to get right into it. According to YouTube analytics, people watch for about 14 minutes and then they go on. So I want to make sure I get to the stitchy stuff pretty quickly. But life has been good, and I hope life has been good for you lately. I hope you've got good weather and good stitchy time and good family and friends around you to enjoy as well. So, all right, let's get to the stitchy stuff then. So, I've had a lot of new subscribers, as I mentioned, which is really exciting, and I think a lot of it does have to do with the 13 for the 250th sale. So here's my flag. I will post this in the show notes. Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, is my partner in crime on this one. And she made 2 different versions of the document. It's a PDF and then also a Google Doc. So you can print it out and put a project for each stripe. So the idea came to me a couple of weeks ago. I was watching Nancy. She was talking about having a BAP, which is a big ass project because we love our acronyms. So she was talking about doing that and having it done for next year, which is the 250th anniversary of the country, also known as the semiquincential. And so my teacher brain started going. I was like, oh, we should do a sale. Like, that would be really cool if you did like a project every month, and so that you had a whole like bunch of little smalls all ready for next year. And then I thought, oh, wouldn't a flag board be really cool? Because then you'd have 13 stripes and you can have one for each. So I reached out to Nancy to see if what she thought of the idea. I like to bounce ideas off of people, and to see if she would join me on it. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And so she had the idea to start it in June, so we'd have 13 months. So that way you had a month a stripe. So, and it has been wonderful to see that how much it's caught on. We've had quite a few other Flosstubers who've mentioned it. We have a giveaway from Chris, the camping stitcher. So if you watch Nancy's 2 videos ago, not the ones that she's done with me, but 2 videos ago, she showed the red, white, and true pattern from Chris, the camping stitcher, which is just adorable. And there's 2 chances to win that on that video. And then I also have a video giveaway today to go along with the Sal. We also had Pam and Bob from P&B Creations reached out and asked if they could do Needleminders to go along with it. And we're like, that would be really, really cool. So, oh, hold on. Let me find something to put behind it. Hold, please. I usually have like a giant piece of cardstock just sitting out here because I'm surrounded by all my scrapbooking stuff too. Ah, I hid it under the table. So there you can see there's a very cute little USA. I didn't take it out of the bag because I didn't want it to make crinkly noises. And then they also did a flag one that says happy 250th birthday. So if you go to their website, which is PB Creations on Etsy, and there's a coupon code, which I'm going to put here. I put it wrong last time, so I'm going to make sure I put it correctly this time. I think I put an extra 0 in it or something. But if you go to their website and purchase any of their Patriotic items, you get 20% off, which is pretty cool. So thanks to Pam and Bob, because that was really cool. And they sent a very sweet little note with it. And they also sent me this adorable, not just adorable, little scissor fob. I thought that was so cute with the little spool. It's all red, white, and blue. And it's got the spools and stuff too, which is doubly cool for me because my football team is the Bills, and so they're red, white, and blue too, which is very convenient. So when your team has the same colors as the country, that's very convenient, especially for like parties and stuff. So if you would like to take part, you can find the board. As I said, it'll be in show notes. You can tag us on Instagram with the Disorderly Stitcher or Stitcher with the Laughing Face. And you can actually use the 13 for the 250th hashtag. It does work. I've searched it myself on Instagram and it has come up. So we'd love for you to take part. And I thought it would be really fun to do it this way too, because I know last year I kind of got burned out working on Patriotic so much in July. The end of the month rolled around and I was like, I had a couple things I wasn't done with and I was like, I'm done because I was tired of working on them. This way, I feel like I have things I'm looking forward to. I'm excited that January, it's July. What am I thinking? July, I'm starting the red, white, and blue sampler from Erin Elizabeth. So I'm excited for that. And then next month is stars. And then the month after that is stripes. So I've got like all these things laid out. And I think it'll be fun to look forward to them and not just try to get them all done at once. And then I'm going to wind up with a whole bunch of whips that won't be done next year. So I hope you'll join us. All right. So with that in mind, I do have a whole bunch of stuff to show off. And I'm going to start with my other sal that I've been doing. So I started the Little Something Sal the beginning of this year as a way to keep myself motivated to work on things that weren't seasonal, and also to work on seasonal things out of season so they'd actually get done for Halloween or Christmas or whatever was coming around. So just in kind of a way to, not just start something and stick it in a bag and then never finish it, because I am a process and a product stitcher. I love stitching, but I also have chosen these pieces because I want to put them out in the house and have them enjoyed by everyone. So to start something beautiful and then just leave it in the bag, I wanted a way to kind of encourage myself not to do that and to carve out time for specific projects. So the wedding rhyme popped into my head. Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. And I changed it to something festive, something boo. Had to have the right number of syllables and rhyme because, you know, ELA teacher. So I started a Facebook group. So if you'd like to join, go ahead and do that. It's just Little Something Sal. And there's a couple questions to make sure you're really a stitcher and not a bot or a troll or whatever. And it's been great. It's been a really nice way to not just work on one piece, but work on a whole bunch of things, pick up whips that I've started a year ago, maybe more than that, and work on them. So I'm going to go through June, because my title was ding, 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 or, ring that finishing bell. I've got a bunch of finishes. So I feel like June was really productive and using the SAL was really helpful. So, it's also really cool because it's very flexible. You can work on whatever the heck you feel like working on, within that week. And I've got some people who are not big on Halloween who aren't doing that. They're not doing something boo. Somebody is doing something blue and working on blue pieces. And someone else was working on for you, like things that are specifically for you. So it's nice to have that flexibility. And, whatever moves you, but also kind of encouraging you to work on more than just one thing and picking up those old whips. So for June, my something old, and I did show these to you last time, but these were my goal, my intention. The other Nancy doesn't like the G word. My intention for June was to finish my whips from last year. So this is Freedom Farm from Stitching with the Housewives. And this is one of the ones that I just got burned out on last year. I had like a very little bit of it left to do, and I just was kind of done and was like, put it away. But now it's all set, and I'm going to finish this. I am going to do some FFOing this week. Priscilla and Chelsea actually showed this last 2 videos ago, and they did it on a star that they found at Michael's. And I have like a big wooden star that I picked up, I think, at Dollar Tree. So I thought, oh, that'd be a good way to finish it. It's done on Monaco that I hand dyed myself with just black. Kind of made a good chalkboard. I've done that a few times. The last time I did it, it did not come out great. They all looked it was very modeled, like too modeled. And I was like, it'll look like a stormy night for something Halloween-y at some point in time. But this one came out really good. The other little small that I finished up was Sarah Jane 1776 Salt Box from Pinker and Punkin. And I love her stuff. If you're looking for some great little smalls, go check her out. Her blog is Pinker and Punkin. Everything is free, which is amazingly generous because everything is adorable. She's got a cute little flag, like parade one I want to do this year. So she's got a lot of great stuff. I did add the back stitching there just to give the house a little bit more definition. And this is on 28 count Carolina linen, which I like because it kind of has that prim look to it. And I'm going to make that into a pillow to go with the 2 pillows I did finish last year. So that was something old during that first week of June. And then I also was working on Hive rules from Primrose Cottage. Ignore my printout. It's kind of washed out. My printer was being funky a year and a half ago when I started it. But Hive rules, I think it came out a couple of markets ago. It's been a couple years for them. But I finally started it last year because I have a thing about bees. It was my classroom theme for many years at school. And so I have a lot of bee stuff. So I worked on it. The first week I was down to about here, which there's 5 pages. When you get the printout, it's about 5 pages. And I had, and I picked it up at the beginning. I had about 2.5 done. And then at the end of the first week of June, I only had like 1 section left. And I was like, I'm just going to leave it out in my stitchy nest, as we call it, and just pick stuff up and work on it when I can and get it finished, because there is no reason for this to not be done. And so here, I got to back up a lot. It's big. Here it is. Hive Rules. Done on 28 count Monaco and with the called for colors. I had literally like half a strand of 782 left. So now, I was going to just put this on I bought like a long board that was really pretty, but then someone on Facebook who on the Primrose, Facebook group shared this picture. So I'm going to add that in there where they did the Hive Rules, but then they did Welcome to Our Hive, which is the bonus that comes with it. They stitched it separately, but it's on one piece. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. So at some point this summer, I'm going to stitch the Welcome to Our Hive. Obviously, I need more 782 because I was almost out. And I think I'm going to do them all together. So I think that looks kind of cool to have the Welcome to Our Hive and then have the Hive Rules underneath it. So that was a big one to finish. And I was really excited to be able to check that off and, you know, put it in. I have to work on my little planner that I have. I kind of made my own stitchy planner because it was also for quilting stuff too. And I really behind in keeping track. So, but it'll be nice to move that page from the in progress to the finished section of my little binder. So the second week of June is something new. And so I started two things. One of them I started and finished even. So last year, Cherry Hill Stitchery came out with this trio of berry stitches. This is the Berry Tea Party. And then this is, I think it's called Berry Friends. I loved those big crows. So I bought all three patterns, and then I don't know what happened that I didn't go ahead and go on to the third one. I think I was trying to stick to whatever I was doing month by month last year, and I didn't do the berries in the round, which is the third of the set. So now last year, or last school year, since it was, you know, a week ago, my library theme was Love My Library. When a little kid said it, it was funny. We talked about how that's not really how you pronounce that word, but it made a good joke for the whole year. So I had all of my berry stuff at school in the library decorating. I had this big console behind my desk, and that's where I had a lot of stuff. So these were there all year long. And when I brought them home, I put them out here, and it was kind of like, I put the two of them together, and they were like screaming for their third piece. And I am one of those people that things that are, you got to have stuff that's odd. So this is the berries in the round. And I stitched it on, all three of them were stitched on 28, I think it's 28 count, flax. I don't remember where I bought it, but it is great because sometimes it's hard to get whites to show up on things and you don't want it to be too dark. But, so here it is. Sorry, I'm getting reflection. There we go. So there's the berries in the round. So I started, stitched, and finished that all in that week of something new. And I'm going to get that done. I left the fabric out, so when I was ready, I would have everything put aside. Alrighty. Hold on. Where's the rest of my pile? Hold one second. Okay, so the other thing I started new, and I did show this to you last time as well, is Sewing Tomato from Erin Elizabeth. I think her style is really evolving and growing, and I love it. And this was just so classy and timeless, and I thought it was really awesome. So, and this is what I have on it so far. I'm doing it on 28 count Vintage Country Mocha. I gotta remember to go this way. She did it on 32, but I had 28 on hand. Now, these are the three reds. It calls for, hold on, I'm going to drop a giant piece of, there we go. 356 is the light color. And then 22 is the medium color. And then 3777 is supposed to be the dark color. So there you can see the three of them all together. However, when I started working on the tomato, the 3737 did not stand out like it did in the picture. If you look at the picture, you can see a lot of definition in the tomato, and I really liked that, but it wasn't working. So I switched out the 3777 for 221. And that, you can see, just has a teeny tiny bit darker, that it pops a little bit more. So that's what I did for that tomato. Now this might be one of those things like I did with Hive Rules. I might just leave this out in my stitchy nest area, so I can pick up, you know, and do a strand, you know, cut a length of floss, work on it, and then go to whatever the other thing is that I'm working on at the time, because I do want to finish this too. I think it would be lovely to have a whole bunch of stuff in this room that's all stitching and crafting related. So that was something new. Then the third week of the month is something festive. And I actually have a lot of stuff to show you for that too. Okay, so something festive I originally was planning to be Christmas, because there's so much Christmas stuff. I could never finish it all in just, you know, November and December. There's no way. So I thought it would be great to put that time aside to work on Christmassy stuff. Now, festive could also be, you know, I'm going to be working on 4th of July patriotic stuff this month for festive. So it's kind of, you know, whatever works for you. But I wanted to make sure that I did actually use that time for some Christmas things, so they would be ready for this December. So one of those projects is the Go Tell It on the Mountain series from Annie the Proper Stitcher. There you go. Just love this series, and when it came out, I was like, oh, I've got the perfect thing, because I found green velvet frames at Michael's. So I bought 3 of them, and 1 for each of the stitches, and it's going to be lovely. So I did actually finish the first one. So here's Go Tell It on the Mountain. I did it on 40 count milk and honey, because otherwise it won't fit into the opening on the frame. The frame's 5x7. It was just a little bit too big on like 36, so I had to go to 40. So that means that I have to use my light, because I cannot see those tiny little holes without a lot of light. So it didn't get as much time in the festive weeks, because normally I come home from school, like I said, I would make dinner and then we'd sit down and watch TV, and I'd stitch while we were watching TV, but I can't do that and blind my husband. So I can't work on these when I'm sitting, you know, watching TV. It took a little longer than I thought it would. Also, it's, you know, working on 40 it's okay. It's not terrible, but probably not my preferred. Now, I did switch out one color. She, Proper Stitcher, called for pine needles for the green color, which is more olivey pine green, but that wouldn't have gone very well with the frames. So I switched it to mistletoe, which I thought was also appropriate for the name. So I finished the first one. Yay! And now I've started on the second one, which is Over the Hills and Everywhere. And so here is my start on that. So there you go. I got the word everywhere done, so I can use that to base everything else off. I am a center starter. And then I got a big tree done. And I think this one might go a little faster now that I'm more used to the 40 count. We'll see how that goes. So that I worked on during something festive. And then also, okay. Sorry, I keep reaching behind me. I need a bigger table in front of me, but that is not going to happen right now. All right, so one of the other things I was working on during festive time, because I can't always have the stuff shining in my husband's face, I worked on a set from Priscilla and Chelsea, Stitching with the Housewives. This was 2 Christmases ago, and I really liked that they were kind of more like the religious part of Christmas. And actually their sideways strippers were this past year too. So that was cool. So this is Joy to the World, which of course I had to do because Joy is my middle name. So, and I'm doing these on 28 count chalkboard from Wheatchelt. Weechelt, whatever. And so here's the first one. Oops. Sorry. There's the first one. And then I started on, got a teeny tiny start. Not very much. You can see through it. It's like a mesh practically. That one is Oh Holy Night. And I do have, I'm using Artiste, which is the line from Hobby Lobby, is their sparkly floss. So it's like an iridescent for the white. Kind of a pain in the tuchus to work with, but I think it's going to be really cool when they're on the tree or the garland or wherever I'm going to put them, because it will catch the light. And for the gold star and Oh Holy Night, I'm probably going to use some gold metallic for that as well. So that's another finish and another start. So that was something festive. And then try to keep myself organized and where everything goes. Oh, so then I also was working. It's kind of outside of the 13 for the 250th. But they had, Priscilla and Chelsea did rounds, patriotic rounds. So they did Oh My Stars. And then they also have, there's 4 more, including the bonus. So I am doing those, and I finished the first one. So here's Oh My Stars. This is on 32 count ice blue linen. And I did it with sparkly floss. So there you can see it. It's red, white, or it's the red, blue, and kind of like a silvery color, because the white did not show up very well. But I thought the silver looked pretty cool. Again, kind of a pain in the tuchus to work with the metallic stuff because it does fray like crazy. It's DMC's metallic. It came in a skein. I had them in my stash, and I was like, I'm going to use these. So the second one that I started is the Made in America. And I do have, that one is the one that came with Born in the USA as the freebie. And then there's also God Bless America and Home Sweet Home. So I do plan on doing all of them. And it's kind of cool with them being 32 instead of 28. They'll be a little bit smaller because then I thought I could fit them on my tree better. I don't know that they'll be on the tree this year. We shall see. I never know. This one doesn't really fit. I mean, I suppose it's festive, but I was working on this in my July month to month is my car stitch. And also I just want to get it done because it's July now. So I'm getting there. It's getting there. Part of my hang up was I needed another thing of blue corn. I couldn't find it at my store. So my trusty store owner, Jessica from Stitching Corner, suggested Midnight from Gentle Arts. So it's pretty close, but I figured I'm not trying to match it up in the barn. It's just the car. Like the car will be its own color, and I think it'll be fine. Probably wouldn't even have noticed. Well, you probably would have noticed. Will anybody else notice that it's different color than the barn? Probably not. It's all good. All right. And then the last week of the month is something boo. Now, last month I asked you guys a question, and I want to thank everybody who answered my questions and entered the giveaways. But I asked if I should start over. I was working on Halloween and cross stitch from Kiori Batakori, and I remembered, so I just started it on 28 count. There's a very cute pattern. 28 count tea-dyed linen. And I was like, I have this really awesome green desert sand opalescent. So it has sparkles to it. Should I start over? And basically, you guys all are like, no, you should not start over. You have way too much done. So thank you to everybody who answered that question. I did the wheel thingy. It was really fun to do. And I was like, oh, I can do this for like, what book should I read next? So here is the wheel. So the winner is Laddie Legionnaire, and she's going to get all things autumn from Annabella's. This was gifted to me by my stitching store, the L&S Stitching Corner. It was in a bag I got at Christmas that was 12 days of Christmas. So I thought this would be a good giveaway to go along with my Halloween question. So make sure to email me at nancyjoytrower@gmail.com so I can send that out to you. All right. And then, so since everybody said I should just keep working on it, that's what I did for my Something Boo this month. So here she is so far. So I finished up the safety pin. I did the little tag that's right here. She was about this much done and the spider was done. So I've done a good portion of her dress and gotten down to the part with her pumpkin at the bottom there. Now, I did decide, hold on, let me grab the pattern again. I decided I am not going to do the writing at the bottom. I think that just doing the witch and her cool little mirror and her awesome pin cushion that looks like a shoe and the little, I think that's enough. So I'm going to just do that. I'm not going to do the writing at the bottom. And this might be something that also gets left out. You know, I'm going to do a length of black on the dress and then like do that for the day and go back to whatever else I'm stitching and then come and do a length on the pumpkin because this thing has a lot of fill-in. A lot. There's a lot. So I think and I'm one of those people that I don't like to just work on one thing the whole time. Like I'm going to switch back and forth between different things. So, all right. So that was my Something Boo. And that was really fun to work on. So that's, uh-oh, did I lose I lost my piece of paper with my notes. That's not good. Okay. Hopefully I have my head straight on now. So that was everything that I worked on in June. I think there were about 7 finishes in there, which really makes me excited. I like crossing things off of lists, so that was pretty cool. All right, so now we're going to talk haul and plans. They kind of go together because some things that I bought are some things I'm going to stitch on. So July is going to be a crazy month because I want to do Jolly July, Christmas in July. Obviously, I want to still keep doing Patriotic. And was it the Tattooed Stitcher? I forget. But Jessica the Sweetwater Stitcher mentioned somebody wanted to do a spooky summer sale. And I was like, well, heck yeah. I'm not starting anything new for that, but I will definitely be stitching some Halloween stuff. I mean, I just did. So I did some. I'll do some at the end of July as well. So for July, I'm going to, for something old for the first week, I'm going to work on the Over the Hills and Oh Holy Night that I just showed you. Those are, since they're started, now they're technically whips, so they work for something old. And I'm also going to finish this guy. I'm going to finish him. Because this magazine came out in 2017, and I'm pretty sure I started it in 2017, maybe 2018. It's long enough. And he's close enough, like, what the heck, you know? Why is he not done? So, now I could even I might even work on him in a car. We are going to be in the car quite a bit in the next couple of weeks. So, because this is on Ada, and if I'm going to be in the car working on something, I prefer Ada because I can see it. So there he is. I really just have like his face, this corner, and the corner for his pom-pom. But this part is even all backstitched. Sorry, there's a big green piece of floss hanging off of there. So I really think I can do it. I think I can get him done. I am switching out, instead of putting stitches, I'm going to put beads in the holly berry border. And this does have a little bit of gold as well as some really cool details. So he is going to be done this something old week, come hell or high water. I mean, he's been very fun to work on, but it is one, it's like, every Christmas I put him away, and then he comes out again and he's still not done. So I would like to finish him. My little tube just fell apart. So he just fell on the floor. I'll get him later. So yeah, so he is something old. And as well as the Over the Hills and Oh Holy Night. Then for something new, I'm going to work on Patriotic stuff. So this is my something new and my intention for July for the 13 for the 250th South. This is the red, white, and blue sampler from Erin Elizabeth. I just love it. It reminds me of Green Gables, the way she made the house. I just think it's gorgeous. So I have the colors. Some of them are already on. They're kind of a mess. Some of them are already on. What do you call those things? Bobbins. That's the word. That's what I'm looking for. And I am going to use the last piece of flax that I have left from that big piece that I used for the strawberry samplers. So, oh goodness. I don't know how I'm going to show you these. But here we go. That's not very stitchery of me, but it works. It's going to be cutting it close on this fabric, but I think I'll have like an inch on either side, on the top and the bottom. And I probably will start this one on the top and work my way over just to be on the safe side. But I've always admired that piece, and I was like, I'm going to do it because I can for the 13 for the 250th. So I'm going to start that in the week of something new. And then I'm also going to start Welcome Home Summer. This one will be on Ada. Like I said, we're going to be in the car quite a bit. So this is going to be my car stitch. Although the flax one might not be so bad as like other. That's an easy fabric to work with. So it might not be too bad to work on that one in the car. So my goal is to have all 4 of those done. I just picked up all the floss from my LNS. And that'll be on black Ada. And I'm going to do all 4 of those. I'm probably going to have, I haven't finished winter or spring. So those will probably travel with us. I don't know that they'll come out of the bag at all. But if I finish the summer one at any point over the summer while I'm doing my car stitching, I'll have the other 2 to work on as well. And then for something festive, I should be back before that. I should be back before the 3rd week because I'm planning on doing FFOing and showing you some things in my stitchy room. But for festive week, I'm probably going to work on the same things. The red, white, and blue sampler, the welcome home, because it's summer, so that counts. And I'm going to start one more thing. Now, this is probably one of the things that we said you could do with the 13 for 250 is to take a big piece and break it up into 13 small portions, which now it would be 12 since the first month is over. Did you see it's Cricket A Go-Go, sorry. Cricket A Go-Go's American Sampler. This came out like a week ago, and I was like, oh my goodness, look at that. It is absolutely gorgeous, just stunning. And really, it's not too huge. It's 215 by 315. Which I think the Halloween thing is almost that big. So it's not that big. It's 6 pages of information. And I think I can break those into 12. So I'm going to start this for festive. And I picked up, it's kind of like tradition now. I go on vacation, I stop at my stitchy store because it's right near my school. I got Mad Hatter's tea towel because I wanted a piece that was very parchmenty, old paper looking. And I think that'll be beautiful. And this will give you a better, oops, where did that other one go? The 3777, that was part of the tomato. Aha. I'm actually, yeah, it's part of this one too. So that's the colors on that fabric. Really, really pretty. And I'm looking forward to starting that in festive week. And then doing a little bit every month. So I think that'll be awesome. All right. So that's it for plans. All right, so I do have a little bit of haul. It's buried underneath it, but a couple weeks ago, part of it's I blame the other Nancy, because she was the reason I started down the rabbit hole about like thinking about the 13, but I also bought a bunch of stuff. So I bought and stripes, and then my local LNS had stars. I have loved these two pieces since they came out. Well, three technically if you count the ampersand. I've just always thought they were lovely. So my LNS was having a sale because she was going to be closed for a little bit. She had some personal stuff going on. So when I saw this and there was only one left, I was like, oh, I gotta get it. So I snatched up that, and then I had her do a kit for me, and I picked out latte. So this is 32 count. Yes, 32 count latte. And I think that'll be lovely for those three pieces together. And then I'll have a little bit more to work on something else. So other than this, it was all the roundabouts and the welcome home summer. And then that beautiful fabric to go along with American Sampler, which is also haul. But we'll just keep that between ourselves. So, let's do the giveaways, and then I will talk books. I have read a little bit. I have a goal to read a ton over the summer. I'm going to try to go back and forth between reading on my Kindle and reading a hardcover or hard copy. I have a whole bag I brought home from school of all the books that I wanted to read over the course of the year that I didn't have a chance to. I've got a giant stack still from Christmas that I haven't read. I read most of what I read. I do read off of my Kindle because when it's on my Kindle, it means it's on my phone. It's on my iPad. It goes with me everywhere. So I can always pick up where I am. Like if we're out disc golfing and I'm waiting for somebody to take their turn, sometimes I will read. And it's right there on my phone. So I do want to read a ton of stuff, but I do have a few things. Oh, but we're going to do giveaways first. Right. So last video we did the Halloween one, if you answer the question, and then I to celebrate that I had just hit 800 subscribers, I had this beautiful piece, which was also a gift in my hold on. This was either a gift from Kay, because Kay Helen sent me an amazing gift bag, but I think this one might have been from Stitching Corner when I had my cool little 12 Days of Christmas bag at Christmas time. So this is Garden Box from Jeanette Douglas. Just gorgeous. And if you told me what was growing in your garden, you were entered to win. So here's the wheel. And so the winner is the winner is Stitcher from the Black Lagoon. So send me an email with your physical address so I can send that out to you. Now I have two other giveaways because, and I forgot to do this earlier with the 13 for the 250th sale, but we had another person reach out and offer to do a giveaway to go along with the sale. So let me pull up the picture. Okay, so, oops. So this is Victory Garden. And this is a giveaway. We're going to have two. We'll have a paper copy and a PDF. And it's from Hoopy Hobby. Oops. Sorry, I just touched it and it went away. There's her Etsy page, Hoopy Hobby. And so what we'll do is once I have the winner, and I think we'll figure out a way to do if you want paper versus PDF. I'll think of that. I'll send her the information and then she'll send it out once the winner's chosen. So we'll do that next video. So if you would like the paper copy of Victory Garden, you're number 1. If you want the PDF copy of Victory Garden, you're number 2. Okay, we'll just do numbers this time. And then I broke 1,000 subscribers, which is super exciting. So to celebrate that, this one was, I offered this once a couple months ago and I never had a response from the person who won it. So I'm going to put it back into the rotation. So this is Bunny's Bakery from It's So Emma. And it's the whole kit. So this has the very cute blue fabric. It has all the DMC in it as well. And so I think that fabric is kind of printed. So, so yeah. So if you would like to win Bunny's Bakery, put in a number 3 as a thank you for all of my subscribers. You're all wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. So 1 for the paper copy of Hoopy Hobbies Victory Garden. Number 2 for the PDF. And number 3 for Bakery Garden, or Bunny's Bakery. Oh my goodness. It's time. Sorry. All right. So that's it for all of that. But I do have some books that I read in the past month. So if you're a reader, stick around and I will tell you a little bit about what I've been reading. And if you're not, then I'll see you next time. I'm hoping to film again in 2 weeks. I'm hoping to have a whole bunch of FFOs to show. And I'm probably going to do a couple little extras over the summer with things about my crafting room as I get a couple other, like, we got it done last September and school had already started. So there's some things in here that I do need to go through still. There's projects that I want to be working on and finishing up that are in here. So there's might be some extras with that. So see you in 2 weeks. If you're a reader and want to see what I've been up to, I read, oops, that is not what I read. That is something I want to read. My camera roll is nothing but books right now in my iPad and on my phone. So Antiques, Artifacts, and Alibis by Sally Bayliss. This is the first in the series. The main character breaks up with her boyfriend. He's horrible. He kind of gets her, they worked in a museum. He gets her fired and kind of blackballed. So she winds up going home to where her family has always lived, even though there really aren't any family members left there. And she starts working at the museum. And of course, there's a murder. So that was pretty good. Antiques, Artifacts, and Alibis, and there are several in that series. Then I also read, my other mystery series is The Last Draft by Agatha Frost. This one is set in London, not in London, it's in England though. And same kind of thing. Person's life, isn't that always the same how mystery series starts? Person's life implodes. She gets fired from her job. Yeah, this one is, she was a continuity person for like films and stuff, and she got fired from the studio, went home when she found out that her grandmother, who owns a bookstore, had fallen, and so she was going to go help her grandmother, who's recovering from hip surgery. And of course, somebody's murdered in the bookshop. So I really enjoyed this one too. There's at least 3 or 4 more in this set. So that was another good mystery. Then if you like something a little bit more on the romantic side, this is the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. So this is the 4th by Lori Gilmore. She's the one who did the pumpkin spice, I think it's Pumpkin Spice Cafe was the first one. There was the Christmas Tree Farm. And then there was, oh shoot, what was the other one? Cinnamon Bun Bakery. And then this is the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. And I think I liked this one the most so far. Main character finds out he has a daughter and her mother was killed in a car accident. So now he has custody of this little girl that he doesn't know. And he needs a nanny. Yeah, do the math. So it was good though. I enjoyed it. Out of the 4, like I said, that was my favorite so far. Then this one's straight up fantasy with a whole bunch of, spicy stuff in it. Serpent and the Wings of Night. really good. Not as good as Quicksilver. Not as good as the Wren and the Holly Library, but still pretty good. Like, I will read the second one to see what happens because, you know, enemies to lovers and back to enemies again. Yeah, didn't go well for them. So, got to see what happens next. And then this one I read, this is a kid's book. So, this one was awesome. So, Anna James wrote the Book Wanderer series, or Pages & Co., I think is the technical name for it, because that was the name of the bookstore, where the main character could read herself into books and read characters out. And it was spectacular. This is her new series, Chronicles of Weatherwhy. Super good. Really, really good. So anything by Anna James, I think you'll like it. Really good for like 3rd, 4th grade. Sorry. And it was one of those that kids might have started the series when they were like 3rd or 4th, but when a new one came out, they're like, ooh, I want it. Even though they were much older. So that was really good too. So those are the books I read in June. All right. So I'm going to go do a whole bunch of editing because I kept having to turn off my camera. But I hope that you are staying cool, staying hydrated, and staying stitchy. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody. Bye.